winemakers are now watching prices rise again. A growing thirst for California wines coupled with a smaller overall crop than in years past have growers seeing prices that have more than doubled in some cases. Experts predict these strong prices to last another few years at least. At the same time, California wines are seeing a surge in popularity worldwide. According to the Wall Street Journal, some winemakers say they'll need to import grapes from other countries like Chile just to keep up with the demand. A mysterious and deadly E. coli strain continues to sicken people in 6 states. Federal health workers have yet to pinpoint a source for the outbreak, which has now made a total of 14 people sick in Alabama, California, Florida, Louisiana, and Tennessee, including 1 death in Louisiana. Scientists are baffled as to whether the E. coli is coming from a food source and are continuing to study several possibilities. Disney's $1 billion overhaul of its California Adventure theme park will be unveiled next week. I don't know what was wrong with it. I loved California Adventure, just how it was. Nearly half of the 20 new rides at the resort are based on Pixar films, including the much-anticipated Cars Land. California Adventure has struggled since its opening in 2001. Maybe that's why I liked it. It wasn't too busy. But it's had hits like the nighttime spectacular World of Color Light and Water show, which will continue in the revamped park. Gone now are those giant-sized letters spelling out California at the entrance to the park. So glad I have all those pictures of my kids sitting on the A. A new entrance has been built to represent Los Angeles now in the 1920s. And as part of the promotion, you can look for the movie Cars to air on Disney-owned ABC June 16th. Well, it is free today for you to enter parks of a different sort. The National Park Service is waiving your entrance fee today in honor of National Get Outdoors Day, also known as Go Day. This is the 5th year for the celebration, aimed at encouraging healthy, active outdoor fun, especially for kids. The number of official Go Day activity continues to grow, with 137 events being held throughout the nation today, compared with just 50 last June. The travel industry is seeing positive spending trends this year in line with predictions made back in December and January. A new survey of Travel Leaders Group shows more than 90% of those polled plan to take at least one leisure trip this year, with most of those already having done so. 9 out of 10 people also say they plan to travel as much or more than they did in 2011, with many of those planning 2 or more trips. Only 8% indicate they would travel less this year than last. Spending levels are expected to jump as well. Eating more fruits and vegetables may help people stop smoking, according to a new study published in the latest issue of Nicotine and Tobacco Research. 1,000 smokers ages 25 and up were surveyed regarding their eating and smoking habits. Researchers found those who ate the most produce were 30 times more likely to kick the habit. These findings held true regardless of age, gender, or race. Education and income levels didn't appear to make a difference either. According to CBS News, the researchers say the trick may be eating fruits and vegetables make cigarettes taste worse, and other foods and drinks enhance the flavor. That is the latest from the Eat, Drink, Explore news desk. I'm Patty Piper, and stick around for the Eat, Drink, Explore live Saturday morning program with your host, Randall White.
Eat, Drink, Explore Media is your lifestyle information source. Our focus, food, wine, craft beer, travel, and tourism trends, with a slant towards sustainable and healthy options. Whether it's hot deals or tips for hotels and flights, an update on what's currently fresh at your local farmers market, or the latest restaurant and beverage news, we've got you covered from 8 to 10 each and every Saturday morning. Live on Crush 92.5 in San Luis Obispo County, and online at eatdrinkexplore.com. Also, check out our new free smartphone and tablet app. Simply search 3 words, Eat, Drink, Explore, either in Google Play on your Android device or in the App Store on your iPhone or iPad. This free app gives you access to contests, past radio segments, our Facebook and Twitter feeds, and you can watch live video of the radio broadcast while listening to it here on The Crush. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your source for the lifestyle you love.
Hello, this is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I want to tell you about my new favorite discovery. Yosemite National Park. I recently went there with my husband and children, and we walked the trails to see the breathtaking waterfalls, admired the grand meadows, and giant sequoias. But the future of our national parks is uncertain. Many challenges face our parks today, from polluted air and water to development threats outside their borders and inadequate funding to protect our national heritage. That's why the National Parks Conservation Association recently completed a decade-long assessment of the challenges facing our national parks, along with proposed actions that will ensure our children and grandchildren will be able to enjoy the parks as we have. Our national parks have inspired Americans for nearly 100 years. As we approach the centennial of the National Park Service in 2016, please join us in helping to protect our national park legacy. Find out how at www.mpca.org.
Delicious, nutritious, and fabulously fun.
Is this real life?
Best of all, your comments.
That was real money saver. Thanks, Randall.
So did it work out for you?
Your hotel tip was spot on.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. But don't just sit there. It's an interactive program, honey.
Are you sure this is legal? I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
Pick your pleasure. Tweet, chat, post, email, even call us on the telly. Whatever works for you. Our topics today: food, drinks, travel, and a whole lot more fun. So let's pop the cork on this thing and get the party started. Give it up now for our fantastic host, the wonderful and talented Mr. Randall White.
I think that's the champagne talking.
And a very good morning, everyone. It is that magical time once again on a Saturday morning when we bring you information regarding current trends in food, wine, craft beer, travel, and tourism. We are broadcasting live from a very vibrant downtown San Luis Obispo. It is graduation weekend for Cal Poly students. We'll share some pictures with you in just a moment. The bars are already full. They were at 7 o'clock when I was riding my bike into work, so... Pretty amazing. Anyway, our whole goal is to keep it fun, healthy, and sustainable so that you can get the most out of your leisure time. Just ahead on today's program, we're headed to the Napa Valley for a quick review of some California wines. Also, you'll be hearing a lot of political ads in the coming months regarding genetically modified food labeling here in California. We'll speak with the woman behind the campaign to get this issue on the November ballot. Our destinations segment takes us to a small Colorado town where, get this, there are more restaurants per capita than San Francisco. And the popular travel deals segment takes a look at Father's Day options. You still have a week to plan a celebration for Dad. And then next hour, the top 10 wacky summer events here in the United States, including a mosquito festival and a hollerin' contest. Hey, our sponsor this week, Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, is brought to you this hour by Eberly Winery. Open daily from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. with complimentary wine tasting and cave tours, voted by Wine Spectator magazine as one of the best tours on the Central Coast. Eberly Winery is located on Highway 46 East in Paso Robles. You can log on to eberlywinery.com. And speaking of Father's Day, you might want to do that because I know, just like other big occasions throughout the year, Eberly always does something special for Father's Day. So just head to Eberly Winery, that's EBERLE.com for the latest on what they are throwing there. All right, let's see. I want to click the right thing here so that I get some proper sound and can bring in Miss Patty Pyburn to talk a little news. Hey, Patty.
Good morning, Randall White.
So eating your fruits and vegetables can help you quit smoking.
Apparently, the taste doesn't go well with the... See, I don't know, because I haven't smoked...
You're not a smoker.
No,
yeah.
so I'm not... It's hard to kind of understand what that means. But I guess, sometimes when you eat one food and then eat something else that, the taste don't mix. So apparently that has something to do with it.
I was thinking that maybe it's just the people that eat more fruits and vegetables are thinking more in a healthy way. So
that could be too.
Smoking doesn't go with with it very well. Hey, we have about a minute to discuss this. I want to pull up a picture, Ricardo. If you're watching us via Ustream right now or online through the website, there is a picture of McCarthy's Bar. In downtown San Luis Obispo at 7 o'clock this morning, there was a line headed into the bar. And then I rode my bike a little farther and I kept hearing noise down by the creek. So I took this little bridge across. And there's the back patio for the Frog and Peach, jam-packed. Now, Patty is an instructor at Cal Poly, and it is graduation weekend.
Yes, it is. But it didn't click with me. I was coming in this morning for the show, and I thought, what is all this activity? There are so many people out and about. Normally, this place is just quiet on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Duh.
Right.
Graduation
weekend. Time to open a really nice bottle of wine. So let's have a round of applause for our Critics Corner. That's right. It's time for us to hear from the critics. The moment in the show when we turn the conversation over to those experts around the globe whose specialty it is to know about wine, craft beer, restaurants, and hotels. And today we head to St. Helena, California, right there in the heart of the Napa Valley to speak with Marcus Marquez. He is the partner and general manager at the Goose and Gander restaurant. And welcome to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, Marcus.
How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so that's the restaurant's relatively new, right? Goose and Gander?
It is, and I apologize for this early morning, get out late in the restaurant industry. But yes, we took over the old Martini House that Pat Coletto and Todd Humphrey had, that iconic Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah, that is a nice place. I've been there. I went there when it was Martini House. And so you have some very nice digs to get going. What's the focus at Goose and Gander?
The focus is just bringing it back to the locals, pub-like feel. The energy downstairs in the bar was so popular.
Right.
We brought that upstairs and out to the courtyard.
Yeah, I have been downstairs and upstairs, so you're right. The energy was good there. And so being in the heart of the Napa Valley, you cannot help but be surrounded by fantastic wines. And being in the restaurant business, it is your job to bring the best of the best to the people that are visiting. So can you go down a list of like 2 or 3 bottles of wine that people may be shopping for Father's Day weekend, perhaps next weekend, can pick up during the week?
That's a true statement. We are surrounded by some of the best wine in the world, and everyone you run into is a winemaker, and everybody just drinks and talks wine. It's pretty different over here. But yeah,
right.
One of my favorite go-to wines right now is Spring Mountain Vineyard.
Spring Mountain?
Yes. It's right here in St. Helena. It's at the base of Madrona and Spring Mountain, and they are known for their Cabernet Sauvignons, but also their Sauvignon Blancs.
And is there a specific year or vintage people should look for?
Yeah, if you can get your hands on a 2010 Estate Sauvignon Blanc, it has that white peach, kiwi, lime overtones, just very crisp, not that Australian style, so if you like the Australian, grassy, this tends to be more California-driven acidity, great with the food, but also you could drink by itself.
More fruit forward?
Correct.
And so estate bottle, meaning everything, all the fruit, the grapes were grown on property. It was picked there, crushed there, bottled there, and aged there, right? Yes.
They have a small lot of Sauvignon Blanc. When you go, if you get a chance, which I highly recommend next time you're in St. Helena, to go to Spring Mountain's private tasting, but they're open to the public if you call or get in. They have this one little patch of Sauvignon Blanc on the hillside, and is just vineyard managed beautifully. And
it's one of those.
Besides the vineyards being so great, the property itself is 800 acres. It's a little bit of history there. If you ever might be dating myself, but there was a show called Falcon Crest,
Falcon Crest.
The mansion was.
That's the one.
That is the one
right.
where they filmed that show at.
Well, we must be about the same age because I remember Falcon Crest very well. Okay, so we have about a minute for a number 2 pick. What's your second pick?
The second pick that I think that is something for all wine lovers that many people might be able to get is the Wickard Vineyard. Wickard's right there in Howell Mountain. It overlooks Napa Valley. They make the most beautiful cab, and Ron Wicker is a local in St. Helena, and he was named Winemaker of the Year for 2010.
Oh, cool. And is that Wicker?
Correct.
Okay.
Wicker, Wicker Vineyards.
Okay.
And he was Napa Valley Grower of the Year for 2010, and he is coming out with a late harvest Chardonnay and ports, but his Cabernet Sauvignon is loved by so many people.
Look for the cab. Marcus Marquez with the Goose and Gander restaurant right there in beautiful St. Helena. Thanks for joining us this morning and giving us your wine picks.
Thanks for having me.
All right, stick around, everyone. Just after the break, we're delving into the topic of genetically modified foods. We're back in just a moment. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. Welcome back, everyone, to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio show on this Saturday morning. I'm your host, Randall White, and I hope that you're having just a fantastic start to your morning. Grab some coffee, get a good scone at your local bakery, and sit back, and you can listen to this via your iPhone, iPad, right there with our new streaming apps. Or if you're hopping into your car and you're headed downtown right now for something, and you're in the San Luis Obispo area, you can listen live on Crush 92.5 FM. All right, recent polling shows that the vast majority of Americans, we're talking 9 out of 10, and some surveys showing as high as 96% of people believe genetically modified foods should be labeled. They're not saying they're against genetically modified foods. They just want to know whether they're in the products they're buying or not. And currently, the only way to absolutely know that is to buy something that is labeled organic. And that can be costly at times. I try to buy everything organic, but it really does run up the grocery bill a little bit. So sometimes I do it just because I want to make sure I'm not buying a GMO product. So GMO is sort of the shorthand for genetically modified. So if there was just a little label on there that said contains no GMO, but it didn't say organic, I might buy that. If there were like 3 different options to buy, that might be the one I choose. So in my mind, always information is power. And maybe that comes from, being a news anchor over the years and such, but having the tools to know what you're buying is always a good thing. And maybe that's why 96% of people are like, yeah, we want to know. Well, Californians will have an opportunity to make that choice coming up here in November because there's an initiative on the ballot. We always have a bunch of initiatives. Doesn't seem to be controversial at this point because, with 9 out of 10 people being for it. But here's the thing. There is some big money on the opposite side. So we will be flooded with advertising. And you know what that's like. It's going to be nonstop advertising on candidates and everything between now and November. So you'll hear a lot of arguments for not having GMO on the label. Well, right now on the phone with us, with more on the upcoming ballot initiative, is Stacey Malkan of California Right to Know. And she's the one that got it on the ballot. So let's find out from her. Stacey, do you expect a big wave of this initiative, of that sort of advertising?
Good morning, Randall. Yes, unfortunately, we do. We're going to see a flood of advertising that tries to convince people that labeling is scary and weird and expensive, and of course, it's none of those things.
Right.
It's, as you said, a tool for us to use to know what we're eating, and it's a tool that people want. So we're really hopeful that we have an excellent chance to pass this in November, but we're asking the voters to be really vigilant about what you're seeing and hearing. Check out the facts. Don't just believe what you're hearing on TV.
Right. And Stacey, we've seen it before we just had an election, and when it was first put to the voters, would you vote for an additional tax on cigarettes to fund cancer research? Overwhelmingly, people were like, absolutely. When it came down to it, I never did see the final numbers. It was losing at the end. Did it eventually lose?
They're saying that it looks like it lost. They're still counting some absentee ballots. But yeah, that was concerning because there was so much support and there was a flood of TV ads, and then the support drops off. And they're always trying to convince people that things like the language is confusing, maybe it's a good idea, but they shouldn't have done it this way.
There's the one, Stacey, right there. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what they do is they say, they come with a positive approach. This is a great idea, but this isn't the right piece of legislation, right?
Right. So what people need to know about the Right to Know initiative to label GMOs, it's a simple, clear, straightforward initiative. It just requires labeling. As you said, it's something that 9 out of 10 people want, and we're going to make it happen in November.
Let's go down the list of arguments against doing this. What will be the main points that they say? That it's too expensive?
I think that they will try to convince people that grocery costs will rise, and there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever to back that up. It's not true. What we're asking companies to do with this initiative is add a tiny bit of ink to their label. Just like they label fat content or calories, they would have to add that the product contains or may contain genetically engineered ingredients. That's it, just a few words on their already existing ingredient deck. The initiative gives them 18 months to do it, and companies typically change their labels in that time frame anyway. So there's no cost to consumers with this initiative.
So a full year and a half, you're right, most packages go through some sort of redesign throughout that period. So at that point, you would just work in the GMO label. Now, would they say that it's too complicated to know whether all of their ingredients have, could possibly be a genetically modified source?
It's pretty easy to figure that out, from my understanding. Companies typically know. So we don't think it will be a burden at all on companies. And if they don't know for sure, they can put may contain genetically engineered ingredients, or check with their suppliers and find out, because certainly companies should know what they're putting in their food anyway.
So similar to when you pick up a package and it says this may have been on a conveyor belt that where peanuts or something were processed, they don't know that it was, but I've seen that many times. This may come from a facility that processes nuts.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's required because a lot of people are allergic, and it's just a way to add more information and give people more choices and more power over their own choices about what they buy and eat and feed their families.
Now, California would join just about every other industrialized nation in the world, right, in having foods labeled GMO?
Yes, absolutely. More than 40 other countries already require labeling of GMOs.
Including China, right?
Yes, China, okay. Japan, all of Europe, not the United States. And California would be the first state to require labeling of GMOs. There is one law in Alaska that requires labeling of GMO fish. Oh. And that's, of course, relevant because we're about to see the possible introduction of the first genetically engineered fish. The FDA is considering approving it, and that would be, in the markets and on our dinner plates without people knowing that it's a genetically engineered fish unless we get this labeling.
We are speaking with Stacy Malkan. She is with California Right to Know, the group that got the initiative on this November ballot to require food in California that is sold with genetically modified ingredients to be labeled as such. And so you will be seeing a lot of advertising in the coming months as we head into the election that will discuss this point. Most of the money, I imagine, coming from the large food producers and that don't want to have this added burden of putting the labeling on there. I have a question for you, Stacy. Why does it matter? First of all, I love science. And I believe that science makes our life better in so many different ways. Understanding, where we came from, all the way up to, feeding everyone. And I get it. I understand why we would want to, in some cases, genetically modify things. And I'm not always opposed to it. But I do want to know when I eat it. What are some of the known dangers of genetically modified products?
Well, here's the thing. If you love science, then genetically modified products are concerning because there are no required safety studies in the United States. That's another area in which the U.S. stands alone, basically in the industrialized world, in not requiring safety studies. So there is a very disturbing lack of long-term health studies on GMOs. There are studies showing cause for concern, links to allergies, other toxicities, certainly environmental impacts that we're seeing with crops that have been sprayed with pesticides, and now the weeds have evolved out of the pesticides, and they're looking at using more toxic pesticides. And some of those chemicals are, of course, ending up in our bodies. Right. So, lots of reason for concern, and certainly a need to further study the long-term health and environmental impacts before, these crops get out into the environment and can't be taken back, which, of course, we're already seeing. But again, this all gets back to consumer choice, that we should have the right to know what we're buying, what we're eating, and make an informed choice for ourselves. Like I said at the top of the segment, Stacy, information is power. So why not vote yourself to have more information, in the coming months. Stacy Malkan of California Right to Know. More information on your website, which is californiarighttoknow.org. CARightToKnow.org. All right, Stacy, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great day. In the meantime, buy organic. That's how you know there's no GMO products, because that's part of the organic rules. We're back in just a moment, headed to Colorado. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore.
The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. A very, very good Saturday to you. Hope your morning is off to a relaxing and enjoyable start. Weather-wise, we're doing pretty well here on the Central Coast and throughout much of the West Coast. There's a little bit of snow and rain, believe it or not, in the Northern Rockies. Southern Rockies, though, look nice and warm, and that's where we are headed right now. It is our destination segment. And this is when we feature a spot. It could be a town, a city, park, trail, or some other location that's just worthy of a little extra attention. In this case, it's a little of all of those. We are headed to Durango, Colorado, and Ann Klein joins us with the Durango Area Tourism Office. Welcome to the show, Ann.
Thanks, Randall.
Nice to speak with you. You are in just such a beautiful spot there. I love southwestern Colorado.
I have to agree with you. I'm looking out my window here. The train, our historic steam train may go by any minute, so you'll hear that whistle. But it's gorgeous morning. I'm looking out at the Animas River, sunshine, some bikers going by. Yes.
It's a gorgeous town, and I had not been there. I've been over the hill to Ouray, Colorado, which is another box canyon, and so I know how gorgeous it is. Plus, you shared quite a bit of high-definition video with us, so at this point, I want to recommend anyone that can switch over to our Ustream. You can get it through the app, or you can get it on our website. Just go to the radio section, this page, and you can see some of the video that Ann shared of the gorgeous fall colors, wildflowers, downtown Durango. It's just absolutely beautiful. And you are quite a biking community. Well, before we get to biking, let's get to your food scene there. You shared a fact with me that downtown Durango has more restaurants per capita than San Francisco.
That's correct. About several years ago, we challenged the San Francisco area, thinking of it is the food mecca, because people here like to eat and good food. We have new restaurants popping up all the time, and we found that, yes, we have more restaurants per capita. Now, we're 17,000 people here in the city of Durango, but again, you can get sushi, Himalayan, brand new Chimayo stone-fired kitchen just opened. I ate there last night. So lots of food as well as beer. And
yes, you have breweries, also a farmer's market. When does your farmer's market air? Or when is it?
It's already open. It's Saturday mornings. I was there this morning. You got to get there early to get the fresh eggs. And it's as much a festival as it is a farmer's market. We have some incredible growers, a lot of sustainable farming, farm tours, agritourism, very popular.
Yeah.
And so people kind of gather at the farmer's market on Saturday morning right here in downtown.
And then you mentioned, so breweries are close to my heart. I used to manage a brewery in Colorado. It was the Boulder Beer Company way back in 1990. But you've got, so you said your town is 17,000? You have 3 breweries there?
We have 3 microbreweries and 1 regional craft beer. So really we have 4. And lots of award-winning beers, different competition. And Colorado really is getting known for its craft beer.
Oh, yeah.
All around the state. It's not just because it's cold and we need to drink. It is that we like to call ourselves also, while we're making our self-proclaimed awards, is the Napa Valley of beer.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. And so you also have just a plethora of, or a plethora, whichever way you want to say it, of outdoor activities. What's the name of the river there? Animas?
The Animas River.
And lots of rafting on that.
Rafting, there's gold medal fishing waters, so if you want fly fishing, it is, Durango's named in basket means water town, so we really focus on the town, whether you want outdoor dining. There's a over 7-mile paved trail that follows the Animas River, so if you want to hike that or walk or bike, but also rafting. There's between class 1 and 3 rapids, and every rafting goes from about April to September, but there's, stand-up paddle surfing and all kinds of water. We really are a water-centric community as well.
And I gave you an order in which I was going to go through these things, and I apologize. I realized I just skipped over one of my favorite things, which is biking. You have both mountain biking and plenty of paths within the city.
Right. We have a local organization, Trails 2000, that does a magnificent job of keeping up the trails. Right out of town, you can get the Colorado Trail that goes from here all the way to Denver. Allow a few days to do that one.
Really?
But there are trails for mountain biking, hiking, and it's a very well-established trail community that we have. And as far as biking, we just received the gold medal status from the American League of American Bicyclists. We received the gold level bicycle-friendly community. A lot of biking. Just comes naturally. We have a lot of Olympic bikers here. And this August, Durango will be the overall start of the U.S. Pro Challenge professional bike race.
Oh, that's great. Gold is hard to get. The top is what? Platinum?
I believe platinum, right.
There's just a couple of places. Berkeley, or not Berkeley, I'm sorry, Davis, California, and is it Seattle or Portland? There's very few places that have that top notch. And then gold here in San Luis Obispo. We have a lot of trails, but I think we're only silver. So congratulations on the gold
Well,
status.
Thank you. Yeah, it really speaks to, and here comes the train. It speaks to just the outdoor nature of our town.
Yeah.
We have Durango Mountain Resort that hosts a lot of mountain biking as well as skiing, but road biking and mountain biking, they're all fantastic.
Speaking of the train, that's a narrow gauge, right?
It is the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. It runs from Durango to Silverton.
And it clings to a cliff. Some of the video you gave us of that train made my hands start sweating when I saw how close to the side.
Incredible. You get up into the Weminuche Wilderness, and it's a 45-mile stretch along the Animas River that it follows from here to Silverton. It's been in operation since 1881, and it is incredible the views you can get of you're out in the wilderness without having to hike for days. It's incredible.
And there's an open air car, which is nice.
There's
I love
open
that.
air, there's parlor. Along the way, there's Soaring Treetop Adventures. It's a zip line, the largest in North America, only accessible by the train. So you hop off midway and can spend the day soaring.
How fun. That sounds fantastic. Now, Durango is well known for not something you would do this time of year, but if people are planning 6 months out, which they do for their travel vacations, consider it as a ski destination, just like Colorado. I mean, Colorado is all about skiing.
Absolutely. We have Durango Mountain Resort, that's Purgatory. Over 260 inches of annual snowfall. This year, some of the best skiing in the state as well as the country. And there's about 1,300 acres. There's terrain parks. And they've done a huge amount of renovations. They have new lodging. They also have a zip line and just a lot of ski mountain improvements this year. So it is an incredible place, especially for families. Great destination.
And there's summertime activities you can do there as well. I don't have the video for this, I believe, but there is it looked like some sort of dry luge that the kids
It's
go
the
down.
Alpine slide.
Yeah.
And it's 2 tracks that come down one of the ski runs, and it's fun. You can race. It is beautiful. And you're up in the mountains. There's also scenic chairlift. As I mentioned, they have the plunge, which is their zip line, as well as mini golf. Plenty to do right up there on the mountain. This time of year, the wildflower hikes are incredible. Just breathtaking colors.
Wildflowers, we think of them maybe being past already in coastal California, but when you get up into the mountains, you're just starting to hit wildflower season.
Right. Wildflowers, mushroom hunting going on now. There's plenty to do still up in the mountains. And as I said, one of the great things about Durango is once you get here, park your car. So much is within walking distance.
Okay.
You don't have to, Mother Nature blessed us with incredible beauty. And especially people looking for any kind of budget travel, there's really something for all different price ranges.
We are speaking with Ann Klein. She's with the Durango Area Tourism Office. And Ann, Durango makes a great spot to, like you said, park yourself, but use it as a base camp to then check out some surrounding things such as Mesa Verde, right?
Right. That's about a 45-minute drive. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And it's, one of just the cliff dwellings, the archaeological centers that are around there. And you mentioned you've been to Ouray, so you were on the San Juan Skyway. That's about a 240-mile loop of some pretty incredible turns up there in going over the mountain passes. Right. But lots of little towns. There's Ignacio has the Southern Ute Cultural Center, which is a brand new museum. So you're really close also to the Four Corners area.
I was going to ask, if someone were going to take a long summer driving trip, where would they be coming from to end up in Durango? Like, would you head up straight from Albuquerque, or
you can head up straight from Albuquerque? We see quite a few people from Southern California, and actually, I've driven from here now south of you to San Diego in about 16 hours.
Okay.
So pack the kids up, and they'd come though Albuquerque, Denver, the Front Range, as well as you can come over from the Salt Lake City area.
How about for flying? If people are like, I'm not getting in the car for 16 hours, what would be the closest, most reasonable airport?
Most reasonable would be the Durango La Plata Airport. We have over 16 flights a day that come in here. U.S. Air from Phoenix. Okay. From Denver, we have United and Frontier, and American from Dallas.
But that's great.
We have a very active, in fact, still adding flights, very vibrant airport.
We have U.S. Air out of San Luis Obispo here, so I mean,
right.
I know
so
there'd be several
Phoenix,
connections.
Oh
yeah,
real
through
quick.
Phoenix. Oh, perfect. Yes. All right. Well, Ann, I wish you the best of luck with the coming summer season. I know it's a busy one for you with all of the rafting and such, and I can't wait to come there and have a craft beer with you and just talk all things Durango in person sometime.
Fantastic. I'll look forward to it, Randall.
And it's Durango.org. If you don't know how to spell that, it's Durango, just like it sounds, Durango.org. Ann Klein, thanks again.
Thanks so much, and have a great day.
Stick around, everyone, because our popular travels deals segment is all about hot Father's Day trips. Durango could be one of them right there for you. If you have not yet considered what you're going to do for Dad, don't let Father's Day come and go without a fun trip with him. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network on this beautiful Saturday morning. I'm your host, Randall White, and we are back in just a moment. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream?
You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore.
You waited all week, and it's finally here. The Eat, Drink, Explore Weekly Travel Deals Extravaganza.
And this is the Travel Deals segment for the month of June. It's the second weekend now in June. We've got a lot of fun times ahead, that is for sure. Father's Day weekend is next week. And a good day, everyone. I am Randall White, and it is time to hear insight from the best of the best, the gurus of bargain, the luminaries of budget travel. And this week we speak with a new guest for this segment. It is Lauren Valchef with LastMinuteTravel.com. Welcome to the show, Lauren.
Thank you, Randall. Thanks for having me.
How's the weather in New York today?
A little rainy, but looks like it might have some promise here.
It's been so long since I've been to New York City, and I know that's one of the selections on your list. We can talk about that in just a little bit. But you do have you've done the research, and there are some bargain locations to hit up for Father's Day weekend. And on top of that, you have some specials running there at lastminutetravel.com.
That's correct. We actually have a Father's Day sale going on where anyone who books a hotel of over $100 or more gets $20 off their purchase. So
Nice.
This is on top of our already great everyday rates, and all they have to do is enter the promo code FATHER12, all one word, when they book.
That's easy. Father 12, because it's 2012. And so just pop that in and you get an extra $20. And if your hotel room is right there around the $100 mark, that's 20% off your room.
Exactly.
Very nice. Okay, I like that. So you have a list of cities. How did you come up with this list of cities that would make great bargain destinations for Dad?
So basically took a look at what are some things that dads are going to be interested in. Obviously, there's a wide range of things, but also taking a look at some of the more popular destinations right now, and also where your listeners can really get the best deals through lastminutetravel.com as well.
Okay, great. And let's start with New York, where you're sitting right now. New York City. You're new to the city there, so I imagine you're seeing it through the eyes of someone that might be visiting.
It's very true. Yes, exactly.
And so early June, great time to hit it there. In fact, I've been to New York in June, and I've been there in September. And the weather has always been just perfect for our trip.
That's exactly right. Spring crowds are kind of starting to die down. The locals are already starting to head out on the weekends, which means there's a lot less crowds, and also prices are also starting to drop because of that. So it's a really great time to be here. The weather is still, not that hot July and August weather, so that it's just a great time overall.
What are we looking at for hotel rooms and getting there and that sort of thing, price-wise for New York? Because I know that in New York, the sting can come from the room.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So first of all, what lastminutetravel.com does is we have a mix of hotels that we actually show the name of the property, and then hotels that we don't. And those are going to be branded properties that people who book can get really great prices on, just because we don't give the name away until after they book.
Similar to like a Hotwire or a Priceline.
Exactly.
I've always looked for another option, because sometimes I go to those, I don't get what I want, or I'll be declined, or whatever it might be. And so I had no idea there was a third choice out there for that. So that's great. You have a new customer automatically. I love those blind listings, because I've gotten the best deals going that route.
Now, I took the best of both worlds, though, and I took a look at a package price. Now, when a hotel is packaged, that actually allows us to give the name of the property right away.
Okay.
So I took a look for a family of 4 leaving L.A., doing 3 nights in New York City, and they can actually stay in Times Square at the Crown Plaza, which is a 4-star property.
I've been there.
Round trip with airfare, it's $726 per person. And you can compare this to $917 per person, which is going to be the price, not to name any names, going to be the price on a website that is a little bit more typically booked on. I'll put it that way.
One that ends .com.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's keep it here on the West Coast now for our listeners anyway. This is a destination you could easily drive to, Los Angeles.
Exactly. LA is a great place to do a long weekend in. One of my tips is to make that long weekend Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, and take the Monday off of work, because in tourist destinations, Sunday night is the cheapest night for your hotel stay. So that's kind of one tip that I have.
Okay.
So for this weekend, for Father's Day weekend, we have our 4-star properties in LA starting at $71.
$71.
Yep, it's a pretty great price for 4 stars. Nice. And LA is such a great food scene, everything, beach scene, anything that dads want to do. One thing I'm going to recommend, because I just tested it out in April before it opened, is Universal Studios just opened their new Transformers ride.
Yes.
And we actually have tickets on Last Minute Travel starting from $72 for Universal Studios for dad.
That's a nice deal. I like that. And then we just had in our news segment, Disneyland's California Adventure is unveiling their $1 billion overhaul next week, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and so that is, I had to look over. That's crazy. $1 billion. So I'm excited to go back there. I love that world of color.
It's a great location as well.
So LA, you're right. So many things going on there. All right, California coastal cities, we like this because as I'm looking at them here, it's all right within our reach. Monterey up the road. Let's start there.
Sure. So Monterey, we have a great 4-star property. I've happened to stay there before. Great brand name, very well known for $81. It's right on the water. You can take Dad on a whale watching tour or cruise the 17-mile drive. Of course, Pebble Beach is right there, so there's a lot of great golf in that area as well.
And a little bit of wine tasting could be worked into that as well, I imagine.
Yes.
And then down south of Los Angeles, San Diego.
San Diego, we have hotels starting from $48, and 5-star properties starting from $185. Again, that's for this Father's Day weekend. So those last-minute deals are still definitely out there, whether you want a more budget property or that high-end 5-star luxury.
And I just want to quickly touch again on something you said. So the best night of the week to get a bargain price is Sundays, and I would imagine that's because people traveling for the weekend for a getaway typically book Friday and Saturday, and then business people book Monday through Thursday nights, so Sunday's sort of left out there with no man's land.
That's exactly the reason, yep.
Okay, so if you can just take a Monday off, you're golden.
Yep, who likes Mondays anyway? So
right.
Stay on vacation.
Right, just get rid of the Monday. Then you don't have one in your week.
Exactly.
So that's fantastic. All right, then just to the east of us is, a destination any time of year. But as it starts to heat up, I don't know, Las Vegas tourism, how is it in June?
It's still a pretty good time to go. You're still not at that peak summer, so the temperatures are fairly manageable. I actually was just there this week, and I will actually say it was cool at 11 in the morning. So I think that Vegas went through a little bit of a tough period, but they have some beautiful, beautiful new properties. And through lastminutetravel.com, you can actually stay on the Strip at a 4-star property from $66, and on the Strip at a 5-star property from $127.
I'm wondering, while you were there, there was a period when you could eat for practically free in Las Vegas and have these wonderful buffets. And then when the economy, in Las Vegas was just growing out of control and such, all of a sudden, eating in Las Vegas became a very pricey endeavor. I'm wondering if that's been scaled back at all, if you can get good meals there for a bargain.
You definitely can. I think some tips are to go to what they kind of call the locals casinos and hotels, such as the station casinos.
Yes.
They have great, great food at great prices. Also, the happy hours at these really high-end, the chefs who are, famous and winning awards.
There's a lot of
you go to these happy hours around, 5 p.m., you can get amazing food, oysters for $1, all of their really great high-end food at amazing prices.
That is a good tip. I like that. Okay. Then another place where you can find some gaming is Lake Tahoe, Nevada, one of my favorite places in the world, even though 2/3 of the lake is in California. We always say Lake Tahoe, Nevada.
Yes.
That's where the casinos are. But what have we got going on in Lake Tahoe?
So Lake Tahoe is a great destination, as you said. I think overall, anything that's kind of typically known as a winter ski destination is a great idea in the summertime to do hiking and more outdoor activities like Park City, Denver. So in Lake Tahoe, we actually have vacation rentals as well as hotels. So If you're looking for maybe a little bit more cost savings on the food side, or you just actually like to cook and have a couch to sit on, a vacation rental is a great option. So that's available through Last Minute Travel. And then we do have 5-star hotels from $167, again, coming up this weekend.
That is fantastic. Lauren Volchev with lastminutetravel.com. Congratulations on the new gig up there in New York City. You moved up from Orlando, Florida, and I wish you the best of luck, and we'd love to have you back on the show again because you have great information.
Thanks so much, Randall.
We appreciate it, Lauren.
Thanks,
all right,
Bob.
Stick around, everyone. We've got news off the top of the hour, of course, with Patty Pyburn, and then a whole nother hour coming up in the show. We're talking wine and national parks. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore. We're back.
Eat, Drink, Explore Media is your lifestyle information source. Our focus, food, wine, craft beer, travel, and tourism trends, with a slant towards sustainable and healthy options. Whether it's hot deals or tips for hotels and flights, an update on what's currently fresh at your local farmer's market, or the latest restaurant and beverage news, we've got you covered from 8 to 10 each and every Saturday morning. Live on Crush 92.5 in San Luis Obispo County, and online at eatdrinkexplore.com. Also, check out our new free smartphone and tablet app. Simply search 3 words, Eat, Drink, Explore, either in Google Play on your Android device or in the App Store on your iPhone or iPad. This free app gives you access to contests, past radio segments, our Facebook and Twitter feeds, and you can watch live video of the radio broadcast while listening to it here on The Crush. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your source for the lifestyle you love. It's the top of the hour and time once again for the latest from the Eat, Drink, Explore news desk.
Good morning, I'm Patty Pyburn, and here's a look at what's making news on this Saturday morning. It's Go Day. The National Park Service is waiving your entrance fee today in honor of National Get Outdoors Day, also known as Go Day. It's the 5th year for the celebration, aimed at encouraging healthy, active outdoor fun, especially for kids. The number of official Go Day activities continues to grow, with 137 events being held throughout the nation today compared with 50 last June. The travel industry is seeing positive spending trends this year, in line with predictions made back in December and January. A new survey by Travel Leaders Group shows more than 90% of those polled plan to take at least one leisure trip this year, with most of those already having done so. 9 out of 10 people also say they plan to travel as much or more than they did in 2011, with many of those planning 2 or more trips. Only 8% indicate they would travel less this year than last. Spending levels are also expected to jump. Trying to figure out what to do this summer vacation? Well, consider a naycation. According to Reuters, when the Carnival Freedom sets sail from Florida for an 8-day cruise to Panama, it will offer the usual cruise ship amenities. There is one major difference, though. The nearly 3,000 passengers on board will be naked. That's right. The nude cruise sails in February. It's already 70% booked, so sign up now if you're interested. The American Association for Nude Recreation says naked tourism brings in about $440 million a year, and that is up 10% in the last decade. Now, nude tourism is not a new concept. The American Association for Nude Recreation is enjoying its 81st year. Nude tourism appears to be growing in popularity as well. A survey last year shows 17% of respondents say a visit to a nude or clothing optional resort is extremely or very desirable. Those numbers are up 12% from the year before, according to the Portrait of American Travelers survey of more than 2,500 households. Well, the map you use to get to your destination, with or without clothing, on an iPhone and iPad device is about to switch from Google Maps to a navigation system designed by Apple. The Cupertino-based computer giant is expected to make an announcement on Monday regarding this mapping system at its annual developers convention. Google's invested huge sums in its mapping technology over the years. It's about half of its map traffic is coming from iPhones and iPads now, according to Reuters. Apple purchased several software companies 3 years ago and has been building out its new mapping app with some of that acquired technology. Disney's $1 billion overhaul of its California Adventure theme park will be unveiled next week. Nearly half of the 20 new rides at the resort are based on Pixar films, including including the much-anticipated Cars Land. California Adventure struggled since its opening back in 2001. It has had its hits, though, like the nighttime Spectacular World of Color, Light and Water show, which will continue in the revamped park. Gone, though, are those giant-sized letters spelling out California at the entrance to the park, and a new entrance has been built representing Los Angeles in the 20s. And as part of this promotion, you can look for the movie Cars to air on Disney-owned ABC June 16th. Taking a quick look at weather around the nation on this second weekend in June. Hotter than ever temperatures throughout the nation. A heat wave is stretching from Texas up through Minneapolis. Temperatures in the 90s. Portions of the northern Rockies, meanwhile, are seeing some rainfall in the west. We have mild temperatures, 60s and 70s along the coast.
Eat, Drink, Explore Media is your lifestyle information source. Our focus, food, wine, craft beer, travel, and tourism trends, with a slant towards sustainable and healthy options. Whether it's hot deals or tips for hotels and flights, an update on what's currently fresh at your local farmer's market, or the latest restaurant and beverage news, we've got you covered from 8 to 10 each and every Saturday morning. Live on Crush 92.5 in San Luis Obispo County, and online at eatdrinkexplore.com. Also, check out our new free smartphone and tablet app. Simply search 3 words, Eat, Drink, Explore, either in Google Play on your Android device or in the App Store on your iPhone or iPad. This free app gives you access to contests, past radio segments, our Facebook and Twitter feeds, and you can watch live video of the radio broadcast while listening to it here on The Crush. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your source for the lifestyle you love.
What do your status updates say? You're learning a new language? Going all organic? Instead of typing your feelings, what if you could put them into action? By creating a network to help keep kids off the streets in a country like Armenia or in Honduras, bringing IT into the classroom, or on a farm in Tanzania, helping stem the world's food crisis by creating a sustainable agricultural program. What if every ounce of your being helped update the status of a person, and in turn they did the same for you? Would this be enough social interaction? Or is this only the beginning of something larger? Life is calling. How far will you go? Peace Corps. Get interactive at peacecorps.gov/game.
Delicious, nutritious, and fabulously fun.
Is this real life?
Best of all, your comments.
That was a real money saver. Thanks, Randall.
So did it work out for you?
Your hotel tip was spot on.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. But don't just sit there. It's an interactive program, honey.
Are you sure this is legal? I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
Pick your pleasure. Tweet, chat, post, email, even call us on the telly. Whatever works for you. Our topics today, food, drinks, travel, and a whole lot more fun. So let's pop the cork on this thing and get the party started. Give it up now for our fantastic host, the wonderful and talented Mr. Randall White.
I think that's the champagne talking.
All right, everyone, pipe down, pipe down. We're trying to keep the crowds back here.
Contain yourself.
Good morning, everyone. Great to have you with us. As Monica said, I'm Randall White. She's Patty Pyburn.
Good morning.
That was interesting news that you had. We can discuss that in just a moment. We are coming to you live from historic downtown San Luis Obispo, which is just buzzing with college students right now. And because we're live and right on the corner of we're in the heart of town. You might hear some yelling and screaming because it's graduation weekend and they're getting who am I kidding? 4 years? It doesn't take 4 years anymore. They're getting 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 years of their yayas out after, and congratulations to all of the college students.
All those who are graduating. They usually don't need a reason to, celebrate, but no. They have one this weekend.
Right. And if you were listening to our St. Patrick's Day broadcast, there was a line around the block then at many of the bars in town. As I was riding my bike into work at 7 o'clock this morning, I'm like, what is going on? Why is McCarthy's with wall-to-wall people?
Jam-packed.
Right. And if you're watching on Ustream right now, Ricardo, I don't know if you can go back to that picture that I took of both McCarthy's and the Frog and Peach. Excellent. I thought, jam-packed at 7 o'clock in the morning. I had to quickly go through. It's not St. Patrick's Day. Graduation.
What's happening?
Yeah.
I had that same feeling. Why are all these people here at 7 in the morning?
Right. Then I went through the Mission Plaza and I saw it backs up to the creek, and I saw Frog and Peach was busy. And also the Creekside Brewery there, which is one of our favorite places, Patty.
I love that place.
They were busy as well. So straight ahead on today's program, we will take a look at what's known as the Green Lane Project. It's popping up in many of America's largest cities, possibly yours, and we will go over what that involves and whatnot. Plus, we're speaking with the Wine Institute about combining wine tasting and our national parks. You know, California's got many wine regions. We also have more national park outlets than any other state in the nation. So it just goes hand in hand, and we'll talk about how you can plan a trip around visiting a park and visiting a winery and many of the events that are taking place in those regions. And we want to let you know that Eat, Drink, Explore Radio is brought to you by Kelly's at the Grill at Hunter Ranch Golf Course this hour. It's the best kept secret on the Central Coast. Kelly's at the Grill at Hunter Ranch Golf Course, open 7 days a week for breakfast and lunch. Happy hour from 3 to 6. Check out their happy hour. And dinner Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's a wonderful view looking out from Kelly's. I had the opportunity to eat there last Friday night and cannot wait to go back for their brunch. Located on Highway 46 East, past Airport Road in Paso Robles, right across from Eberly Winery, if you know where that is. All right, Patty, let's talk about some this is the top 10 segment. I have it.
And we're going wacky today.
We're going wacky today.
Okay.
And this is according to TripAdvisor.com. TripAdvisor has great lists if you're like into lists, which I am actually. And this is the top 10 U.S. wackiest summer events. And we'll start, I like to go backwards. We'll start at number 10. It is the Mattoon Bagel Fest. And let's see, this is in the Midwestern Farm Belt.
Okay.
Lender's Bagel Factory is situated there, and I've had Lender's Bagels before, actually. They're delicious.
So have I, yeah.
And so they have 10,000 bagels are consumed during the Bagel Fest. That is July 19th and 20th in Mattoon, Illinois. So if you find yourself there, have yourself a bagel. You like yours toasted?
It kind of depends if it's breakfast or lunch.
Yeah,
I'll do a toasted every now and again.
Right. I'm an extra toaster. Like
really?
I toast almost to the edge of burnt.
Of course you do. You're the one that eats my burnt cookies.
Yes.
The reject cookies go to Randall.
It's a caramelizing or something that goes on that I just really like. It's an over caramelization, really. Okay, the Hope Watermelon Festival. This is in Hope, Arkansas. Isn't that Bill Clinton's home? Was that where he was born?
Right.
I think. August
Arkansas.
9th through the 11th, the festival draws 50,000 visitors. It's in the southwest corner of Arkansas. So watermelon season for sure there August 9th through the 11th. And then we had the Bagel Festival. Number 8 on the list is the Cream Cheese Festival.
Of course.
They should combine these two.
They got to get together.
Right. But this is in Lowville, New York, and it's in its 8th year. Let's see. Doesn't say how many people go to it, but they do play cream cheese bingo. I'm not sure how that works exactly.
That's an interesting, I'd like to know more about that.
All right, how's your hollering, Patty?
Well, I got a cough drop from Anthony. I should be good to go.
Okay, but can you do some hollering?
Do you really want me to? No.
But if you were good at it, you could go to Spivvy's Corner in North Carolina for the hollering contest on June 16th. My mom and dad lived in North Carolina for a while. Mom, were you anywhere near Spivvy's Corner? No, yeah, she doesn't. It doesn't ring a bell with her.
Mom is visiting today.
She's visiting. She's here on the Central Coast for several days, so we've been having a good time, which is why I'm a little bit on the horse side right now. Too much hollering.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, Randall, Hope, Arkansas, Bill Clinton's town.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah,
that's Google. So handy.
The Google, it's a good source for sure. All right, number 6 on the list is Bat Fest. This is in August 25th in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
We had Austin on the show last week, and bats do a lot of good.
I love bats. They're really interesting creatures. So the people there just get all batty.
I guess it's in its 8th year also.
Okay.
Celebrates 2 million Mexican free tail bats. Freetail, I guess, is the thing, which take up seasonal residence there in Austin against Congress Street Bridge. 40,000 people show up for this, but I think they show up for just about any festival in Austin.
Yeah, whatever reason, they'll take it.
Right. All right, Wausau, Florida has a possum festival. We just had some possums that found home under our house.
Lovely.
They're actually good animals. They keep away the other pests.
Yeah, and you know what? They like to eat kind of like fruit and things that are rotting, garbage, so they they kind of help clean things up.
They do. We have a couple of citrus trees, and I think that's what
they like that
drew them there. 43rd year for this one. They only get about 5,000 people there, but I don't know where Wausau, Florida is. It's being a small town. All right, the Humongous Fungus Festival. This is in Crystal Falls, Michigan. This is number 4 on the list. So the Fungus Fest. Let's see, the fungus-filled feet honors the largest mushroom in the world, which weighs in at 11 tons.
Yo, my
11
gosh.
tons, and it actually lies beneath the ground, just south of this town in northern Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
the fungus among us.
Yes, is humongous. All right, the World Chicken Festival is number 3. This is in London, Kentucky. I didn't know there was a London,
Did
Kentucky.
not know there was a London, Kentucky.
Can you imagine combining a London accent with a Kentucky accent? This is September 27th through the 30th, and this is because the Colonel, Kentucky Colonel Sanders, started there. And so they have this big festival in honor of that. And so lots of fried chicken, I assume.
Once a year, I guess you can do that.
Yes. I love fried chicken. I wish it wasn't bad for you. I imagine you can make it with good oils and that sort of thing.
And
Take
granola and...
right. Almond encrusted.
There you go.
It is delicious. All right. The Slug Burger Festival. This sounds fun. In Corinth, Mississippi. And it's just all about deep fried burgers. And then number 1 on the list, the Great Texas Mosquito Festival in Clute, Texas, June 26th and 28th.
Is it how to keep them off, or what? What are they celebrating?
The fact that it's the yin and the yang. We're back in a couple of minutes with Green Lanes. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show?
Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. Welcome back to the program, everyone. It is Saturday morning. I'm your host, Randall White, and as you know, I am an avid bike rider. I've been commuting to work by bicycle now for more than 25 years, which really dates me. You can figure, you just have to do a little math on that one. And as my primary form of getting around, whether to the grocery store or to school as a child, I've really been biking my entire life. Always choosing the bike over the car if I can. You know, it's not always an option, but it just makes me personally, I'm not like doing it to be like some great person or anything. I feel better when I ride my bike in, and I feel a little more alert and that sort of thing. However, sometimes, depending on what city you're in, you can get a little tangled up with the traffic, and it's nail biting, and I would imagine that those situations might keep some people from getting on the bike in the first place. Well, there is an effort underway to make our cities a little bit more bike friendly. It doesn't cost a lot of money, and it's so visual and so simple that you almost wonder, why didn't we do this before? Joining us on the phone right now is Randy Neufeld with Bikes Belong to talk to us a little bit about the Green Lane Project. Welcome to the show, Randy.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Nice to have you with us. Now, you're in Chicago?
I am.
That's a great biking city. I could spend every single weekend going up and down that Lakeshore Path.
Yeah, the Lakeshore Path is a wonderful place in Chicago to ride, and we're really trying to make the rest of the city as comfortable as the Lakeshore Path.
And you're doing that with this Green Lane project. How does that work exactly?
Well, we know that in Europe there have been a kind of bicycle path that exists on roads in cities like Amsterdam and Copenhagen, and really in many places in Germany, Scandinavia, the Netherlands. And right. We know that these work. We know that people feel comfortable, but it's always been difficult to visualize them here in the United States. In the last 2 or 3 years, many cities have given these kinds of facilities a try. Chicago, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., New York City, Portland. And people have been excited about it, but we haven't really gotten to the point where there's enough of a network where people can really get out there and feel comfortable riding in the city. Right. So this is a 2-year effort with 6 cities over the next 2 years to really try to get us over the hump and get more of these protected lanes in the ground.
So when people are driving in a city like San Luis Obispo, we see in some cases a designated bike lane, and it has 2 white stripes. That's
right. And it's right next to the traffic lane, and it's usually indicated by a white stripe.
Right.
And then there's usually a bike marking in the lane itself. The kinds of protected lanes we're talking about are different. The most common kind is what's called parking protected. So you have the sidewalk and the parkway, then you have a bike lane going in one direction, then you've got a little buffer area, then you have the parked cars, and then the travel lane.
Okay.
And in some places where there isn't parking, you might have flower pots or plastic posts or something that have more protection for the cyclist that's using the lane.
And in some cases where you don't have the space to do that elaborate of a separated path. You paint the pavement bright green, and it just makes it so clear that, that is not part of the driving area.
Right. Part of the thing is that makes these kinds of lanes work for everyone, whether you're riding a bike or driving a car or walking, is that it organizes the street and makes it really clear where the bicyclist goes and where the bicyclist belongs, where the car goes. It shortens the crossing distance that a pedestrian has to cross across the street. So it's a win-win for everyone. But that bright green paint is something that really jumps out at people. In many places, it's a little too much to paint every inch of the protected lane. So what they'll do is they'll paint the green paint just through the intersections or across driveways or places where there's a conflict point, but it's a clear message that you're crossing a bikeway.
That makes sense, and I would imagine it wouldn't be very controversial. However, there was I think it's funny, but a funny thing that happened down in Los Angeles on, I believe, is it Spring Street down in the downtown? A lot of commercials are filmed there. A lot of movies are filmed there.
Yes, I read about that.
Yeah, LA's a movie town, so they put in this green bike lane, forgetting that the color green they used is almost identical to the green they use for chroma keying. And so many movies nowadays use that green to put other things into special effects. Just about everything nowadays.
That's a very LA problem. We'll let them solve that. Maybe they can go with aqua, or fuchsia. Who knows? I think the important thing is that places like LA are really changing the way the street is divided up, and it's giving many more people the opportunity to have that good feeling about riding around without being worried that they're going to die or that their kid is going to get hit by a car or that their mother is going to get run over when she rides the bike.
Randy, I think LA is a great example of a town that was 100% a car town. In fact, you could not move to LA and not own a car. And it's amazing to me over the past 20 years to see that city evolve to the point where you have a growing infrastructure of public transit and trains to get, from Long Beach to downtown, out to Pasadena, wherever you may need to go, and the support for bicycles and the growing number of paths within that city. They've got the climate for it. They have the perfect climate in Los Angeles to be an outdoor city year-round, and so it's nice to see a city of that size taking on, that's a big undertaking with the amount of space that they have there, and it's not inexpensive to change something that monumental, and so it's been nice to see the evolution over the last 20 years, and I hope it continues in that direction.
Yeah, this is the time to change. Many people are getting older and don't want to drive. They need options. Energy is going to continue to get more expensive.
Right.
We need ways for youth to be able to move around cities without mom and dad having to chauffeur them everywhere they go. There's just so many reasons why this is needed. It's been proven in other cities in the world and a few places in the U.S., and it's time to make it happen for everyone.
Randy, you mentioned some of the cities that are part of this Green Lane project right now. What are the cities that we expect to jump on board in the coming years?
So I don't know if I did mention it's Austin, Chicago, Memphis, Portland, San Francisco, and D.C.
Okay.
That are the 6 cities. New York City is a senior advisor to the program, and so these are the cities that were chosen for the project.
Okay.
There were 42 cities that applied, which really surprised us. We invited 30 cities, and there's just lots of excitement among mayors and city councils all over the country about providing these options for people. But these are the 6 cities that really had more of an ability to lead the way and to be models in the next 2-year period. We will have a great website which will help working with the other cities, but cities like Omaha, and
Madison,
and Madison, and Minneapolis, and Salt Lake City, Tucson, Boston. There's really a lot of cities out there that are interested in doing some things. It isn't easy. You're talking about, in many cases, street space that there's a lot of competition for.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe there's big congestion going on.
Well, people,
there's never enough parking in some places.
Right.
And how do you reallocate that space? So you're sort of rebalancing the street to make cities work.
Well, Randy, people can get updates at the Green Lane Project website, which we have linked at eatdrinkexplore.com. Randy Neufeld with Bikes Belong. Thanks for the update. We appreciate it. We'll have you back on the show in the future, okay?
Great. We'll see you out in the protected bike lane.
The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore.
Welcome back to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network. Here now is your fabulous host, Mr. Randall White.
I always feel so good about myself after hearing Monica introduce me that way. A happy Saturday morning to you. I'm your host, Randall White. She is the lovely and talented Miss Patty Pyburn.
Good morning.
So I was a television news anchor for almost 17 years. Patty is my longest standing co-anchor, and now we're co-hosting a radio show together.
Imagine that.
I know. And
4 or 5 years ago when you first came to KCOY.
5.5.
Oh my gosh. Okay, stop. A long time ago when you came to KCOY. Could you have imagined if someone said, in 5 years, this is what you're going to be doing?
Right. No, but I love every minute of it.
And here we are.
Patty and I love sharing stories during the commercial breaks.
I just really quickly, can we have Monica come with us? Imagine if you went into, say Albertsons or something, and Monica said, "Here's the fabulous,
wonderful." We need
a thought.
We need to have her do some of the voiceovers for you too. So she's got that rough, raspy.
She's got a great voice.
Yeah, she does. I like it. So Patty and I like to share stories during the commercial break, and we were talking about Patty's going to make homemade mustard.
Mm-hmm.
You just ordered a big bag of seed?
I ordered 2 big bags, bulk mustard seed. Found them online, shopped around, got a good deal. Brown and regular, and then brown mustard seed. Inspired by our guest, and I can't remember the name of her book. Homemade Pantry?
The Homemade Pantry. Yeah, The Homemade Pantry. Excellent book. And so we have it at the house if you need some excerpts on the mustard.
I was reading it the last time I was there. I may actually just take it with me when I'm
That's perfectly okay. Perfectly okay. You know where they have a big mustard festival because they have all the mustard up there in the Napa Valley, which is
okay.
I think there's a lot of like homemade mustards or at least artisan mustards that you can get during that.
All you in this room here, we have quite a crew here this morning at Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. You'll all be taste testing the mustard, just so you know.
Yes.
And I want your honest opinions.
With good horseradish and such. Well, speaking of the Napa Valley, that is not the only wine country, and we know that because we're based here right outside the Edna Valley. Up the road, we have the Paso Robles wine region. This is called the station that we air on, the commercial radio station, is 92.5 The Crush, which is Crush.
Very appropriate.
Right, named after the season in the spring when the wine grapes are harvested and turned into wine. So we love ourselves some great wine. And there is an organization based up in San Francisco. Their sole purpose is to help California's wine industry, get the message out, do a lot of statistical stuff because sometimes people want to know, like, how many cases sold, what's the trends,
the factoids,
all that sort of stuff. And that's what the Wine Institute does, and it's wineinstitute.org. They're a wonderful organization. Gladys Horiuchi, I apologize if I'm not saying that correctly, Gladys, joins us this morning to talk about California's many wine regions. And because we have more national parks than any other state, they surround many of these wine regions. And you can do a trip that combines a little wine tasting.
Talk about pairing.
Yeah, a wine pairing. Patty, I like that. All right, Gladys, welcome to the show.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here.
Gladys, did I say that correctly? Horiuchi?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, great. And you're up in Sonoma County, right?
No, we're based in San Francisco.
Oh, you're in San Francisco today. Okay, great. Well, wonderful to have you on the show. And when I took a look at this report, because I get emails from the Wine Institute from time to time, I saw this one and I thought, well, this makes a great segment for the show. So let's start in the northern top of the state and just work our way down.
Okay.
And we've got Mendocino wine country. Is there anything north of Mendocino wine country?
Well, actually, far north of there is the Humboldt area, and there are a few wineries up there as well, in the Lost Coast. So, but, people, think of going to Mendocino because of some of the movies that have been up there. Anderson Valley's got some great wineries. There's a lot of great wineries up there. People traditionally think of pairing wine and food, but, we started thinking wine and national parks. Hey, that's a good pairing, too.
Yeah, and you have Redwoods National Park, which is in Humboldt County, and it's so beautiful. You just feel like you're on a movie set because it's so otherworldly when you're in the midst of all those redwoods and such. What a great place to bring some great California wine, have a picnic under the redwoods.
That's a great idea. And, Mendocino is on the way, so it's a good way to break up the drive up there if you're driving up there. Mendocino's got a couple hundred wineries up there.
Yeah. I was at one this past summer if I can suggest a place. It is Pacific Star Winery, owned by Sally Otteson, I believe is the owner. I hope I have the right name, connected with the right winery. But it is right. I mean, it is located on the Mendocino coast. Her tasting area, which is a large outdoor sort of yard, goes up to a fence. On the other side of the fence is the cliffs and the ocean. So you cannot get any closer to the Mendocino coastline while enjoying wonderful Mendocino wines at Pacific Star Winery.
Well, some of the varieties of grapes that do well in cooler weather happen to be wines like Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, and so, of course, a lot of the wineries that specialize in those wines are located all along California's coast, and coming with that is, of course, some spectacular scenery.
Oh, yeah. So
of course.
Yeah, as you work down a little long. Have you been up to Napa, Patty?
Not for a long time. Too long that I can't really count those many years. Gladys, I have a quick question for you. I'm thinking about things to do with my kids, especially kind of some close-to-home stuff so we can do it more spontaneously. An afternoon of wine tasting is typically not something you bring your kids to, because they are like, oh, okay, Mom, what do we get to do? But this idea of pairing national parks and wine is something where fun for grown-ups and kids, right?
Well, of course. And, there are many wineries that are family-friendly, and some of them even serve grape juice and have things that kids can do while the parents want to grab a couple of bottles of wine.
Right.
So it's not unheard of to do that. I mean, there are things like bocce ball and other things that maybe some older kids could enjoy, some of the gardens and some of the other recreational activities. I think even a winery like Clos La Chance has got a soccer field, and the kids run out there and play soccer while parents might do some wine tasting.
I like that some of the wineries have become dog-friendly, too.
That's true. That's right. The thing is that the majority of these wineries are owned by families, and a lot of the families live on the farm, so they understand that aspect of wine country visiting.
Yeah, a lot of the wineries that I like to go to are owned by families, and the small batch wineries are so fantastic. Now, in the northern half of the state, still, you have, I know the pictures that you sent us to go along with this conversation include Point Reyes National Seashore. I grew up saying Point Reyes, but now I find myself saying Point Reyes. But it's a beautiful national park, national seashore, that's just right there outside of the Sonoma growing region. Oh,
I love that area. That's my stomping grounds. 360-degree views of spectacular coastline, and there's oyster farms and lots of wineries on the way in there. In the Russian River Valley, it's one of the roads to get out to Point Reyes, and you'll run past a lot of great wineries like Roscioli, J Winery, Porter Creek, Rodney Strong. A lot of them are involved in sustainable wine growing, and they've got solar arrays and organic grapes, and it's just a really interesting place.
And then Marin County, where I grew up, you hop up and over Mount Tamalpais, and as you're coming down the non-coast side, you hit Muir Woods, which is named after John Muir, and a beautiful redwood grove just 10 minutes from San Francisco.
Maybe more like maybe a half an hour after you wind through all those roads.
It's very windy.
But yeah, that's just trees going up as far as the eye can see practically. So they have a paved area that takes maybe half an hour to walk through that, and then if you want to take a longer hike, there are some hikes that branch off from the park.
Gladys, I'm always, just so you know, always overly optimistic when it comes to travel times. It's always, it's also like 10 minutes, But
well, as a crow flies, how fast you're driving, but
as a crow flies, it's probably 10 miles from San Francisco, But yeah,
that sounds right. Yeah,
driving distance, you're right. The time wise would be closer to about a half an hour. And so we've got Muir Woods with the Napa Valley. You paired that. You have Point Reyes with the Sonoma County wine country, Redwoods National Park with Mendocino County wine country, and now it's a growing region. And in fact, they're what's the name of the wine now? The huge festival in the Sierra Foothills that sold out and it was held this month, I believe.
Well, there's the Passport Wine Weekend coming up in June.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that is in Calaveras County, but there are so many wineries up there, and some of the oldest too, because a lot of those wineries were established during the gold rush back in the 1850s, and a lot of those families discovered that the gold was actually in the vineyards for them. if they didn't strike it rich.
Right.
I'm thinking of Deaver Vineyards. It's like established in the 1850s, and they've been growing grapes, and then the winery is newer. But there's a lot of great wineries up there specializing in these big, rich reds.
Yeah, Barbera. That's it just came to me. The Barbera Festival. And I think it's this month, and it sells out almost right away. But you've got, so if you're there in the Sierra foothills, boy, you're surrounded by parks that you can visit.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking, well, of course, Lake Tahoe is a state park, but it's part of right close to the Tahoe National Forest.
Mm-hmm.
And then even on the way up there, if you're coming from the Bay Area or elsewhere, you have to pass through the Lodi wine region, which surprisingly has 80 wineries there, making some great Zinfandel and other varieties.
Lodi now has 80 wineries. Boy, that region has taken off quite a bit.
Well, it's always traditionally been a grape-growing area, and nobody really knew, but now that they've got wineries, it's sort of given more name recognition to that name.
That's where the 7 deadly zins come from.
I like that one. Yeah, that's good.
It is delicious. We are speaking with Gladys Horiuchi. She is with the Wine Institute up in San Francisco. We've only hit the northern half of the state. We've got Central California and the southern portion of the state as well. Great wine regions all through those, and we will hit those coming up after the commercial break. We are pairing, as Patty Pyburn put it, wines with national parks. It's a good way to go. So Gladys, you don't mind staying on through the commercial break?
Sure.
All right, fantastic, everyone. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. Don't forget, we have an iPhone, iPad, and Android app out there for you. Just simply go to the App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. You can watch the video or listen online. Right there. It's that easy. We're back in just a moment. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show?
just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore.
And welcome back to the show on this Saturday morning. Great to have you joining us for the final segment here of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. You know, my mom is in town, and we were speaking with her, Patty Piper, just a little bit ago.
We have a crowd in the studio.
Yeah, and now my sister, her son, and his good friend just all showed up. So if you've ever seen our overhead cam on Ustream as you're watching the radio show, if you watch it that way, you know that the office is not very large. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people in
our very spacious office here.
Right.
The corner office with the great view.
But our suite, yes. But it's very enjoyable nonetheless. And it's great to be around family and enjoying the wonderful weather we have this weekend. Hopefully you're out having a great time. Why not add a little wine tasting to your weekend?
Not?
Right? And wine not. Patty, you should be a marketer, I'm telling you. What was the one you said the other day? Oh, the Apple should call it the App.
The Old Store.
Right. Yeah.
Just a suggestion if Apple's listening.
You've always been very good with those things. All right. So right now we are joined by, and I had it right here.
Gladys
Horiuchi with the Wine Institute. You can get all of the information that you hear here today at wineinstitute.org. Always good information for California's wine industry. And we're discussing pairing a little wine tasting with one of California's many national parks. And sometimes it's a national seashore, sometimes it's a national forest, but you get the idea.
Yes, and we are going to have to make tracks, Randall. We have a lot of territory to cover if we're going to get to Southern California, because we're still up in the north. Gladys, next stop on our adventure here is Yosemite, and I have to admit, this is like when I lived in Arizona, where I grew up most of my life and didn't visit the Grand Canyon until I moved away. I have not yet made it to Yosemite. I have to make that admission, Gladys.
Well, not to be missed, and certainly, you know, a lot of the Madera Wine Trail and the Fresno area is the gateway to that national park. So you're on their way anyway to get to Yosemite. So it's a nice stop. They have some great wines, particularly some dessert wines, and Moscato has certainly become very popular too. So you know, places like Quade, Ficklin, Birdstone. And Fresno State, surprisingly, has a student program and a farmer's market that sells their wines. So
I was wondering about that, Gladys, because you sent some pictures along, as I had mentioned, and we're showing some of the different screens as we talk about the different areas if you're watching online. But I saw the picture from Fresno State, and it made me instantly think about Cal Poly here, which is right in our backyard. They make a wine. I don't think they sell it at the farmer's market, but you can buy it on campus, right,
Yeah,
Patty?
you can buy the Cal Poly wine, and that's relatively new the last few years.
And it's delicious.
They have a great program, too, and both those schools are very hands-on. And I think even UC Davis has just established a winery, too, for the students to work out of. So, so interesting place.
So whether you are in the Fresno wine-growing region there and heading up to Kings Canyon, Sequoia National Park, Yosemite National Park, you have so much access right there. Or you could head the other direction and hit up at Pinnacles, which is in Monterey County, and then you're even closer access to the Paso Robles region, Edna Valley, and all that.
Right. Of course, Pinnacle. There's a good place to hit all the Monterey wineries would be Taste of Monterey. Then you can, taste a lot of wineries. And
when is that?
I think that's in the village of Cannery Row around there.
Oh, okay. And the Taste of Monterey is an annual event.
No, it's a tasting room.
Oh, I'm sorry, because I'm like, yeah. Well, when is that?
It sounded like a festival,
It sounds like an event, but yeah, it's a tasting room, and they've got something like a couple dozen wineries in there.
What a great idea! So that you don't have to head out to each one of the because they have a wine trail there.
But you can maximize your
that's
time.
True. You could do that too. I mean, let's face it. There are so many wineries. You can find them everywhere. There's 3,600 wineries in California.
3,600?
Yes, and grapes are grown in 48 of California's 58 counties. So you can find a winery fairly easily, and most people don't know that California makes 90% of U.S. wine.
90%.
So it's one of our signature industries.
And we've really become an exporter, too.
I think we export about 20% of our production. But truly, I mean, it's not necessary because California now, not California, but the U.S. is now the #1 wine-consuming nation in the world.
Wow.
And that just happened about 2 years ago.
Offhand, Gladys, do you know the two counties that do not produce wine? Because it might be kind of fun just to plant a couple of grapes in each of those counties. So
that would be 10 of them. 10 of them don't.
Oh, 10 of them don't. I see. I thought.
I wonder at what point we'll have to keep an eye on that when there will be grapes in every county.
Right. No kidding. So let's see. We've mentioned Pinnacles. Right in our backyard here, heading down into Santa Barbara wine country, is the Los Padres National Forest with lots of great trails and, in my opinion, some of the best wine country the state has.
They make beautiful wines, particularly Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. And, of course, the movie Sideways put Santa Barbara on the map, and of course, a lot of people like to go see the Sideway wineries, although there are plenty of great wineries there, like Deerberg, Star Lane. Of course, Hitching Post was one of the wineries was in the movie. Zaca Mesa has got an interesting tour that you can take your dogs on a hike, and they'll explain their sustainable practices. A lot of interesting places.
All right, should we head south?
Sure.
Yeah. We're making tracks onto Southern California, and what do we have there, Gladys?
Well, Temecula wine country, and of course San Diego, they really cater to the Los Angeles market because it's, actually Los Angeles could be a great wine country, but of course, there's one of the largest wine markets in the world, and so people, obviously it's hard to establish wineries there, but Temecula's got about 40 to 60 wineries there, surprisingly, and a lot of great wines because they do get that coastal fog.
Right, and I don't see it on the list here, but boy, the Malibu wine trail is really starting to pick up, and you have, of course, the beautiful Santa Monica Mountains there that you could hike in as well.
That's right. So I'm trying to think of
one of the wineries from there.
I can't recall the wineries, but there are like 3 or 4 wineries there, surprisingly.
There are, and Casa Dumetz, which is owned by I had him on the show a year and a half ago. The brother, it's the family.
I know who you're talking
Emilio
about.
Estevez. I feel like I'm playing charades here. But
sounds like.
Yes, Emilio Estevez owns Casa Dumetz. Dumetz, the original name of, now we call it Point Dume, D-U-M-E, but the original naming of that point was Dumetz, and he wanted to bring back that Spanish heritage with the naming of his winery. And most of the grapes he gets from the San Ynez Valley area. So a great wines being made by Emilio Estevez. All right, so then when you're in Southern California, you can hit up Mojave National Park and all right, I always think this is a made-up name, but it's not. Cucamonga Valley.
Right.
Right. There's some of the first. Of course, the Franciscan Padres established missions, a chain of missions all along the California coast, and that's where some of our winemaking originated. And Mission San Gabriel, I believe, is the oldest. Was the first established winery in the state, and of course, I believe that's in that whole Cucamonga area had one of those missions, and a lot of great history there. And I believe there's a wine history museum there. There's a couple of wineries there, Galliano and J. Filippi. Of course, it's covered over by real estate and housing, but, those 2 wineries are still there with a lot of great history.
Well, Gladys Horiuchi with the Wine Institute, people can get all the information they would ever want about California's wine industry by going to...
Actually, I want to give you another website.
Sure.
The wineinstitute.org is more for our wineries and the trade, but the consumer website is at www.discovercaliforniawines.com. And there's a database of wineries, wine regions, links to all the wineries, and you can even search wineries by the various amenities, whether they have a picnic ground or a garden or a sustainable, if they do sustainable organic practices.
Yeah, discovercaliforniawines.com.
Right.
Okay, we will put a link for sure on the website for that. Gladys, thank you so much for being on the show today. We'll have to have you back in the future to discuss more California wines.
Well, it was great fun. Thanks for calling me.
All right, this hour was brought to you by Eberly Winery. It just happened to coincide with a wine segment where you will always find complimentary wine tasting located on Highway 46 East. That is in Paso Robles. Great cave tours there. Make sure you check those out. And you don't pay for wine tasting. I'm glad that there's still some of those wineries around. Log on to eberlywinery.com. That's EBERLE. Patty Pyburn, thank you so much.
Thank you, Randall White.
And we're out of here. Make it a great Saturday, everyone. We'll catch you right back here next week.
Eat, Drink, Explore Media is your lifestyle information.